You've been chasing someone. Be honest. The double text you shouldn't have sent. The conversation you keep rehearsing. The person who went quiet, and the way you've been filling that quiet with everything except your own dignity. You check the phone. Nothing. You put it down. You pick it up again. You read the last message you sent and wince. And somewhere underneath all of it, a quiet voice you keep ignoring is asking why you're working this hard to be wanted. You think if you reach a little more, explain a little better, show up a little harder, they'll finally turn around and choose you. They won't. Not like that. Chasing doesn't pull people closer. It teaches them they never have to come to you. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 6 reasons the Stoics would tell you to stop chasing entirely, and let silence do the work that begging never could. Stay to the end, because the 6th one is the shift that makes people start chasing you. Here is the hard truth about chasing. It isn't love. It's advertising, and what it advertises is scarcity. Every time you chase, you send a quiet signal. I have so little, I must beg for yours. People read that signal instantly, beneath all the words. The more you reach, the cheaper you make the very thing you're offering. Abundance never chases. Only scarcity does. The person who is full does not run after anyone. They're too busy living to beg for a seat at someone else's table. Think about how you respond to it from the other side. When someone is desperate for your attention, texting constantly, needing reassurance, performing for your approval, does it raise their value in your eyes? You already know. The chase rarely creates desire. Most of the time it kills it. We are drawn to what stands on its own, not to what clings. Epictetus cut to the bone on this. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Another person's choice to want you back lies beyond your control. Chase it, and you've handed them your freedom. He was even blunter about wanting. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. The chase is grief for what you don't have, dressed up as effort. Stop grieving the seat at their table, and notice how full your own already is. The action. The next time you feel the pull to chase, to text again, to explain again, to show up uninvited, pause and ask, am I acting from fullness or from fear? If it's fear, do nothing. Let the silence hold your value where the chasing would have spent it. When you chase, you give people something to react to. When you go silent, you give them something to reveal. Here's what most people never figure out. As long as you keep reaching, you'll never know the truth because your effort is doing all the work. You're filling the silence so they never have to. The moment you stop, the situation tells you everything. Either they step toward the space you've left or they don't. Both answers are gifts. Silence is a test you don't have to administer. It administers itself. The people who value you feel your absence and move toward it. The people who only valued your effort simply move on. They were never yours to keep. Think of every relationship that was one-sided. While you kept reaching, the imbalance stayed invisible. Your motion hid their stillness. The day you finally stopped, the silence got loud, and the truth was suddenly impossible to miss. That silence didn't end anything that was alive. It only showed you what was already gone. Seneca observed, "It is the mind that makes us rich. This goes with us into exile, and in the wildest wilderness it finds enough to nourish the body." When your richness is internal, you don't need to chase confirmation of your worth from anyone. You can afford the silence. You can afford the truth. And he warned against the cost of refusing to see it. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. As long as you keep chasing, you live in imagination, inventing reasons, rehearsing hopes, avoiding the answer. Silence trades the comfortable fantasy for the clean, freeing truth. Costs you a fiction and pays you back in reality. The action, choose one relationship where you've been doing all the reaching. Stop reaching completely for now. Don't announce it. Just let the silence speak, and pay attention to what walks toward you and what walks away. The deepest cost of chasing isn't rejection. It's that you've handed someone a remote control to your nervous system. When you chase, your whole day rides on their response. A reply and you soar. Silence and you sink. You wake up and check. You go to sleep and check. You've outsourced your entire emotional weather to a person who didn't ask for the job and doesn't deserve the power. That isn't connection. It's captivity dressed up as caring. Picture your morning. Before your feet hit the floor, your hand is already reaching for the phone. Not to start your day, but to find out whether you're allowed to feel okay today. One word from them sets the temperature of your next 8 hours. You've made another human being the thermostat of your inner life. No one should hold that dial but you. The Stoics drew one line down the middle of all existence. What is in your control and what is not? Your effort, your dignity, your peace are yours. Another person's feelings, choices, and timing never are. Chasing is the act of grabbing the things that aren't yours and trying to force them, and it produces nothing but suffering. Epictetus. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Your power is to live well, fully, with self-respect. The rest, including whether they come back, is not yours to drag. He drew the line even sharper. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Their reply is beyond your will. Your peace is not. Stop worrying the one, reclaim the other, and the remote goes dead in their hand. The action, today take the remote back. Decide that your mood is no longer for sale to anyone's reply. Live your day exactly as fully whether they respond or not. That is what it feels like to own yourself again. There's a strange law underneath all of this. The harder you grip, the faster it slips. Chasing creates pressure, and pressure repels. The person being chased feels the weight of your need, and need isn't attractive. It's suffocating. You think you're showing devotion. They're feeling a demand. So they pull back, which makes you chase harder, which makes them pull back further. It's a spiral, and the only way to break it is to stop spinning it. The grip is the problem. Sand held loosely stays in the palm. Sand squeezed shoots out between the fingers. The same is true of people, of opportunities, of respect. The man who can hold things with an open hand keeps far more than the man who clutches. It works the same in every arena, not just love. The job you're visibly desperate for grows wary of you. The deal you push too hard for collapses. The friend you smother with need starts answering slower. Desperation has a smell, and it sends away exactly what it's trying to summon. Calm, unforced presence draws people in. Grasping drives them out. The law doesn't care about your intentions. It only reads your grip. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." He held even the dearest things loosely, not because he didn't care, but because he knew that clutching changes nothing except your own torment. He trained this directly. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, receive without conceit, release without struggle, receive without conceit, release without struggle." That open hand isn't weakness. It's the only grip that actually holds. The action, practice the open hand. Take the person, the outcome, the thing you've been gripping, and consciously loosen. Say to yourself, "If it's mine, the silence won't lose it. If silence loses it, it was never mine." Every hour you spend chasing someone is an hour stolen from building yourself. That's the real theft. Think of your attention as a fixed amount of fuel each day. Pour it into refreshing a chat, into rehearsing conversations, into wondering why they went quiet, and there's nothing left for the only project that ever pays you back. You. The chase is a leak. And while it drains you, the version of you that could have effortlessly attracted what you wanted never gets built. Here's the irony the Stoics understood. The fastest way to stop needing someone's validation is to redirect that exact energy inward. Train, read, build, master your craft. Become someone whose life is so full that an unanswered message is barely a ripple. People are drawn to that gravity, and you can't fake it. You can only build it. Run the math on it honestly. An hour a day spent chasing is 365 hours a year, enough to transform your body, learn a skill, build something real. Spent on someone who has to be convinced to want you, that same time produces nothing but a slightly more detailed map of your own anxiety. Same hours, wildly different lives. The chase isn't just sad. It's expensive. Seneca warned, "While we are postponing, Life speeds by. Every day spent chasing is a day not lived. He would tell you, bluntly, that you do not have the time to waste on someone who has to be convinced to want you. He pressed it harder in his letters. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it. Life is long enough if you know how to use it. The chase is the great waste. Life leaking out through a hole you keep choosing not to plug. Plug it, point the fuel at yourself, and watch how quickly the long life becomes a full one. The action. Take the time and energy you'd spend chasing this week, and spend it on one thing that makes you stronger. Train the body. Sharpen the skill. Build the work. Let the chase fund your own ascent. Here is the shift that changes everything, the move that, strangely, makes people begin chasing you. When you go silent and stay silent, not as a manipulation, not as a game, but as an honest act of self-respect, you say the one thing words never can. You're not available to be undervalued. Your presence is not a thing to be earned back on demand. You won't audition for a place you already deserved. People feel that. The silence of a man who has chosen himself is unmistakable. It isn't sulking, and it isn't punishment. It's the quiet, settled certainty of someone who knows his own worth and has simply stopped negotiating it. That certainty is magnetic, and it cannot be performed. Can only be true. Watch what happens when a person who used to chase finally, genuinely stops. Not as a tactic. They really let go. Something in their posture changes. They walk differently. They laugh more easily. And almost on cue, the people who took them for granted feel the shift and come circling back. Not because a game was played. Because the person finally became unavailable to be undervalued. And that's the one thing no one can resist. This is the paradox at the heart of it all. The moment you genuinely stop needing them to come back is the moment you become the kind of person they regret losing. Not because you played a game. Because you finally respected yourself enough to stop playing theirs. Marcus Aurelius left himself this command. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. When your happiness lives inside you, you stop chasing it in other people. And that self-possession is the most attractive force a human being can hold. He carried the same principle into how he valued himself. Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. Chasing someone who left you on read costs you exactly that, your self-respect traded for a maybe. The silence is how you refuse the trade. It is the cheapest thing to give and the most expensive thing to keep, and the Stoics chose to keep it every time. The action. Make silence a decision, not a wound. Tonight, choose to stop chasing fully, and turn that energy toward your own life. Don't do it to make them return. Do it because you are finally worth more to yourself than the chase ever was. So, 6 reasons to stop chasing and let silence do the work. Chasing advertises scarcity. Silence reveals the truth. Chasing hands away your peace. What you grip, you push away. Your energy belongs to building yourself. And silence, done right, is the highest form of self-respect. You don't need to chase. You never did. The right people move toward your stillness. The wrong people were only ever holding your fuel. And notice the thread running through all 6. None of them are about them. Every one is about what you reclaim the moment you stop. Your value, your truth, your peace, your grip, your energy, your self-respect. The chase was never the path to any of it. The silence is. So put the phone down. Stop reaching. Build your life so quietly and so completely that your absence speaks louder than any message you could have sent. If this reached you, do one quiet thing for yourself. Subscribe, and let this channel be a daily reminder to choose your own worth over the chase. And remember, the moment you stop chasing is the moment you start being followed.